Hey everybody, welcome back to another audio commentary with me, your host, Lego Lover 117. I know you all are probably thinking, hey, why aren't you doing commentaries on the rest of your series? You've only done the first 3 so far. I know, I'll get around to it eventually. There's just so much other regular content I'd like to release on Thursdays. However, I am doing an audio commentary on what is now my most recent remake of James Learns a Lesson, or as it's known in the early years collab, James and the Coaches. This remake was produced for the early years collab, and now it's finally been seen on YouTube. Interestingly enough, this audio commentary is, well, interesting because this is being recorded the night that this premiered. So you probably aren't hearing this audio commentary till at least mid or late 2020, but hey, it's nice to have a stockpile of content. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it here.
James was enjoying his life on the island of Sodor, but he still had a lot to learn. You're a special mixed traffic engine.
I'm especially proud of this Knapford set that I built for these opening scenes here. I like how I've got the dude who's working on James. Here's one of my favorite shots coming up here now. Here it is. James being rescued from his accident. I just really love how that was composed and how I was able to put that together. Interestingly enough, too, this was my first remake that was ever shot entirely in 1080p. For the entirety of my YouTube career, I've shot in 720p, but with my phone cameras, now I can shoot in 1080p, and it looks a hell of a lot better. There's a large difference between this and my, I think it was a Proud Day for James remake. I think I shot with just my Samsung camcorder, which I barely ever use nowadays. I'm also very proud of this station here that I constructed. I haven't torn it down, I still have it, and I plan to use it in a multitude of videos here coming up soon.
But no one seemed to know about Sir Topham's new hat, so James felt happier. Presently, they came to the station where Thomas was waiting.
Also, this set here with the little station and whatnot with Thomas and on his branch line, I'm proud of that too. I just really like how my sets are. They are simplistic, and they don't really have a lot of background to them. You can totally tell I'm on my floor as I'm recording this, but yeah, there's a certain charm. And there's a Star Wars reference there for you. I didn't have any Lego, like, cows or animals to put in that field, so I grabbed my Lego horse, and then I also grabbed my First Order AT Walker and just put it there backwards to represent a animal in the field there. I also really like this station. I used the previous station you saw earlier in the remake, and then I just threw a second platform on the other side with that lifting bridge. So I think that really looked good.
James didn't like that at all.
I also think I've really improved with my facial animations with the eye movements and whatnot. They have gotten a lot better from when they first began, way back when I first started doing those. I think it was in 2016 I started doing eye movements, and then they just became standard for everything that I did. I really like this shot too. The camera's positioned behind the stop and go station there. And if you look in that shed, who's that? Oh, it's old style James. A little bit of a reference there for you. Funny, haha. You know I love doing that. You see here coming up in this shot, I know that looks like Oliver. It is a Oliver model, but if you go chronologically, Oliver hadn't escaped yet. So for the sake of this universe, we'll just say that's another engine. A engine we never got to meet. That's not Oliver. I really like how that green screen shot came out, with the driver and fireman in James's cab. That's not James's cab. I think that's a big boy cab, actually, that I pulled off of Google, but, I really like how that green screen looked. Green screen also has improved a lot from when I first began doing this YouTube thing. I won't, said the man.
Then I'm afraid the train will just stop where it is.
If you notice, I am a big proprietor of reusing minifigures in a lot of my scenes. And like I said, if you notice that man in the gray jacket with the brown hair and the other dude behind him with the slicked back hair, that's not a coincidence that he shows up in a lot of these shots. That man in the gray suit jacket and suit may or may not be a character coming up soon in some upcoming content. It'll make sense when my new series premieres at some point. But yeah, I'm basically alluding to that guy has a bigger role coming up soon. It's not just a coincidence that he appears throughout this episode. And that is the end of this video, and that's the end of this audio commentary. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and good night, everybody.